Hello and welcome to this week's episode of You Can Sit With Us. I'm one of your hosts, Matt, sitting here with Becky.
Hello.
And we have Rainie on the ones and twos.
Hello.
And we just wanted to talk about life. What life has been like. What have your life choices been? You know, very reflective.
Yeah.
Rebecca.
I mean, this really does bring into my current life right now. Terrible. Terrible. I only have thorn. There is no rose. There is no bud. It is only thorn.
Sounds thorny.
It's thorny.
Getting pricked.
So at the beginning of this year, we had someone come and check on our furnace and just doing their regular maintenance.
Yeah.
And he found that there were like dead rats, mold, all these bad things. So we had to get that changed.
You're harboring a lot in that household.
Harboring a lot. And it was also like, it was very close to when Gene Hackman died. And his wife had died of like rat poop. And I was like, okay, well.
Is that how they died? No.
That's how the wife died. Very sad. Very sad. But that was fresh in my mind. And then we were like, okay, well, this is done. You know, you always have to do something. It's always something with the house.
So, you know, older buildings.
Older buildings. It was born in the 1920s. A couple days ago, the bathtub clogged. It's kind of weird. It's Henny's bathtub. I don't take showers in there, so the number one cause of clogs usually is hair, and this long ass hair isn't in that shower. So then we got the clog out. Easy. Pour some Drano. Call it a day.
Drano.
The next morning we go to do laundry, and it backs up into the tub.
Oh no!
So this like little thing that we thought, sewage
all over your house.
So then we call a plumber. The plumber comes over, and you're thinking, it's just a clog. It's just got to snake the drain.
Yeah.
No.
It's all the sandy wipes.
We got all those
down
sandy
the toilets.
wipes. No, it's roots growing in our, even though we had already hydrojetted when we first moved in the house, roots growing in our pipe. So we're like, dang, okay, well, I guess we got to get that pipe's got to get changed. By the end of the day, the quote had doubled. Because it wasn't just that. It was that the pipes under the house were so corroded that they said, we're not sure how this house passed inspection with these pipes. They're basically broken all over the place.
Drano you've been using.
The Drano and the vinegar. It's basically
cast iron pipes.
It's cast iron, and it's been rusted and corroded enough that it's now leaking into the foundation. And we don't have a concrete slab under our house, so it's going right into the soil. Yeah, 100-year-old. So they said they didn't know how to do that. And we're like, wow, that sucks. So then the price doubled again.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, we got the news again midday. And throughout all of this, we can get water out of our house, but we can't put anything down the pipes. So I'm going to the mall to poop. I'm going to be honest. I had to go to the mall to poop. I've been going to friends' houses to shower. We took Henny to Zach and Maggie's for a bath.
That's your nightmare. That's literally your own personal nightmare.
Literally my own personal
Sounds like you need to get a porta potty.
Well, basically, our guest house bathroom is kind of acting like the porta potty because they were like, you can use it, but just very lightly. So, like, don't flush it a lot. So we're just peeing up a storm.
What does that mean? Lightly.
I know. I was like, explain lightly to me. And then by the end of the day, so
does it smell bad? Or no,
it doesn't smell like anything.
Normal.
Everything's normal. We still get water
Maybe
out.
the leaks aren't that bad then underneath the house. Maybe it's just like a little.
You know, I wish that was the case, Matt, because yesterday the price doubled again because now they have to dig under our
Sounds like you're on The Price is Right.
It does. I'm on one of
Daily
those.
Double.
Yes, I'm in those TikToks where they're like, do you want to take the $100 or double it and give it to the next person? But the double it is giving it to myself. So it's now gotten doubled again because now they have to go onto the side of the house, which I think I told you is the back of the house. It's not the back of the house. It's the side of the house.
Oh.
Rip up part of the deck. They're going to reinstall it, go underneath, dig a hole that's as big as the one in our front yard now, and go back in there and change those pipes because it's like an 80-foot long pipe.
Oh.
Well,
it is crazy to think about. Those pipes are literally 100 years old.
Literally 100 years
They've lasted 100 years. So you know what? Great investment from those first people.
It's one of those things where I was at my friend Hannah's house last night showering. And she was like, Becky, I really don't think I ever want to buy a house. And I'm like, honestly, at this point, me neither. Me neither. Because you know what? If I was renting, this would be someone else's problem.
Truth.
But because it's my house.
But then, you know, might take longer to get fixed if you're renting.
That's true.
You would be stuck
That's true.
in the porta potty for a couple more weeks.
Well, thankfully, and like our plumber is like very straightforward, and he'll be like, there's a 98% chance that the thing that we do is going to work, and there's a 2% chance it's going to be a months-long issue that you then have to get permits from the city for because we have to close down the street.
But
and Keith and I were like, oh, okay, thank God that didn't happen. We were the 98% in that one.
Close down the street, then all your neighbors are really going to be happy with you.
They're going to get mad.
They can't even flush their own toilets.
Nope. So that's our thorn. That's my thorn. And Keith's going to be out of town for a bunch of like shoots and a bunch of like Louberger stuff. So Henry and I are leaving. We just left Chicago a week ago. Now I told my parents we're coming back. I can't do it.
I mean, at least you have a good place to go.
I know. And thank goodness, you know what? I ride for Southwest. I always have because of their 2 free checked bags. Did you hear what happened, man?
They changed it, didn't they?
They changed it.
They're going corporate.
Dare they do this?
Have they changed it yet?
No, it comes into effect in like June.
Okay,
so I'm taking advantage.
This trip, you're so
I was like, because we have the credit card, I was like, get these points out of here. Yeah. I am done with you with your no free checked bags. However, it is one of the only airlines that flies the small airport. It flies Burbank to Midway when most flights go to O'Hare.
Yeah.
And I live like an hour and a half from O'Hare. So it's like maybe an hour, but in traffic. So Midway is like much closer to where my parents live. So I will not ride for them anymore. But maybe we shouldn't ride for big corporations. That was on me. I put my faith in the wrong people.
It's hard to know what to do these days. I'm not going to lie.
Truly. But I also think time will tell. They're going to go back. They're going to go back. What do they think? People don't care about the 2 free bags. To just fly Southwest.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I was never a huge fan because the no seats gives me anxiety. Not knowing where you're going to sit.
I like choosing.
I like choosing too. And I'm like, people say it like it's like chaos when you get in there. You know what's chaos? We had to fly.
Not nice flights, because sometimes it has been chaos.
No, I had to fly
people shove.
Delta once. And it's like group 1 and everybody's like,
where's my seat?
Yeah. Like elbowing, rushing the front.
Yeah.
No, I like going, I'm B24. What's your number?
Yeah.
B24. Seat Z75.
You know what? I think it's fine. I think people make too big a deal about the open seating on Southwest.
I hate it. I hate it.
If there's somebody coughing or sniffling, I'm like walking right by. There's an open audio. Yeah. Audio seat. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Easy.
Do you ever save the seat next to you, even if you don't have another person with you?
No, I never.
I've seen the videos on TikTok with people
stuff like
stuffing like their bags and stuff, so it looks like someone's sleeping in the seat next to them.
No, they're usually pretty good at telling you when it's like a full flight. But there was, when we were flying back from doing the Universal shoot, we got the exit row. So we were like, yes, let's do this. But they had to make an announcement at the end, like, hey, is anyone willing to switch their seats? And I love Southwest because the flight attendants aren't afraid to be mean. This flight attendant literally over the speaker was like, I'm not sure why two grown men would want a 12-year-old girl sitting in between them, but we're looking for anyone that would be willing to switch seats so that these 2 sisters can sit together.
Yeah. Did someone change it?
I was like, get them. Yeah, the people behind us. Because also kids can't sit in the exit row. Because obviously I would have been. And the flight attendant was like, I'm sure all the parents on this flight, understand where these kids are coming from. They're flying alone. They would like to sit together. There was like a slightly older sister and then the 12-year-old. And she shaded those 2 men hard.
Bam.
And then they were like,
knows how to get things done.
Seats, we'll give you alcohol.
Oh, well, double incentive.
Right? I was like, okay. But that's also why I like Southwest. But their CEO is on my shit list now.
Sometimes I do wonder if they hire like performers because they're all funny.
They're all funny. They're all so silly.
Yeah.
Silly, goofy mood.
Yeah, they're encouraged.
Yeah. They're just having a good time. I've rarely met a flight attendant who's like not nice on a Southwest flight.
Oh.
Are you meeting a lot of mean flight attendants?
Yeah, what's happening here?
I just feel like most of the time flight attendants are not happy. You know what I mean?
That is a broad stroke to paint.
Well, because I used to travel every week for work.
Oh, yeah, you did.
So it was like, and they were on shorter flights like from like LA to Vegas or LA to Seattle or to Portland. So it was the like more commuter type. There were smaller planes and stuff too. I just feel like those people are never perky.
Do you think that if 2 out of the 3 people here have positive flight experiences all the time and one person doesn't, that it might be the person?
Are you trying to say I was the one who made those people grumpy, Rebecca?
Maybe.
Not that I've been
maybe
on
one of the commuters.
hundreds of thousands of more flights than you.
No, I think it sounds like a Matt problem. I've actually only had one flight attendant who I had an issue with, and it was only because we were flying. I'm going to shout them out. Turkish Airlines. We're flying Turkish Airlines back from Greece, I think it was. Yeah. And I couldn't sleep, so I was awake when all the lights were out. And this older woman tapped me on the shoulder, and she was I don't know what language she was speaking. I'm not educated. I'm dumb. And I didn't know what she was trying to ask me. And I was like, well, it's middle. She must want to go to the bathroom is what I assumed. Because I was like, why else would you tap someone? So I brought her up to the flight attendant to be like, hey, I think this woman might need help. And she basically like brushed her off and was like, well, she can, whatever. I don't know what she's saying. And like kind of sassed and like walked away. And meanwhile, I'm like showing this woman the bathroom. I waited outside the door for her because I was like, what if she was asking for like help? That she was like, hey, I can't. I won't be able to lock the door, or I'm not going to be able to get off the toilet by myself, because she was older.
Yeah.
So that was the only flight attendant that I've really been like, ma'am, that was a crazy choice.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That was a crazy.
Well, maybe she's on a break.
Humanity. I mean, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. Do they go on breaks? I don't even know.
Maybe because it was an international flight.
When the flights are so long, I feel like you have to.
Yeah.
At least for a little bit.
So I don't know. But other than that, shout out to my Southwest flight attendants. I've always loved them. And I'm sorry that your CEO is doing this to you and robbing you of the business.
Of the 2 free bags. Did they change anything else or just that?
No, it's just the 2 free bags.
I heard that the seating is going to go away. But I just heard from my mom. I don't know.
That they're going to start assigning seats? Yeah. I mean, honestly, if they assign the seats, but then keep it in the line that you have to wait in. Because that was my problem with the other ones. Is like I felt like I was being, I was cattle.
Zone 1,
I like
zone 2.
standing in the line.
Yeah, but it's weird because it doesn't even matter. You have the assigned seat, but people are pushing.
Right?
It's like, but what?
I'm like, what are we fighting about?
Yeah, what are we fighting
about? I think it's easy. Also, Southwest has, I think, don't come at me if I'm wrong. I think 4 and under gets family boarding.
Yes.
But on other airlines, it's 2 and under. And I'm like,
I think
the difference between a 2 and a 3-year-old is vast. Like they're not geniuses. Like you're going to need a little more time to put them in their seats. You know?
Truth. Yeah.
So RIP Southwest.
In their carriages.
Pouring one out for you. I used to ride hard, and this is probably the last time I'm going to talk about you publicly.
You're probably still going to ride it though, because it's the only flight.
Because it is the only flight. Yes, I will still probably be there, but you know what? They will not get my seal of endorsement. They will get my begrudging seal of endorsement.
Secret. Your secret seal of endorsement.
My secret seal of endorsement.
Yeah. Not the public one.
I also feel like they had a video of like the CEO like coming out and like talking about like why they were changing things. And I'm like, this shows that you don't have any young people working at your company. It was like the worst video. He was like, this is for the betterment of Southwest. This is going to keep us flying. When airlines get the biggest bailouts all the time.
They need more money. How much is it going to be per bag though? Do you even know? It's like $5.
No, it's going to be more than $5. If it was $5, then I'd be like,
never mind.
This is my retraction. This is my personal apology. I'm sorry.
Even $5 would make them so much money. You know what I mean? Think of all the bags they check.
No,
because now they make 0. So if they got $5 per bag even.
Yeah, but if it deters people from flying, the $0, if you're going to get people to fly, then you got to play the long game. You got to play the long game. Speaking of the long game, this is going to take us away from airlines. Have you guys been watching Jeopardy lately?
No. I feel like you might be the only person I know that has kept up with Jeopardy.
Love it. Love it. I fast forward through all the parts where the people talk about themselves. I'm like, I only want the questions. That's funny. There's been a string, in my opinion, of people who are not doing well. People whose 3-day cash totals are $30,000. I would be embarrassed to play Jeopardy with Ken Jennings looking in my eye, knowing in 3 days I made $30,000 on Jeopardy. That is low.
Well, 30,000 more than you had walking in.
Well, you're not going to leave with that. Well, I guess you leave with a portion of it. But anywho, I think strategy is being forgotten by these people. So last night's episode that we were watching.
Call out all the future people going on Jeopardy.
Last night we were watching, and I understand why they do it, right? You jump the board to try and find the daily double. Number one, if you're going to jump the board to find the true daily double or the daily double, you better be doing a true daily double. That's the soapbox I will die on. If you get the daily double, it's a true daily double, especially in round 1 of Jeopardy. There's no reason to not make it a true daily double. Come on. And you get to say it. You get to say the words.
I don't know any of these rules, but I agree, Becky.
What words? Daily double?
A true daily double.
A true daily double.
Yeah,
what's the difference between a true and a not true?
Nothing. It's just how people used to say it, so it became a thing, and it'd be like, let's make it a true daily double, Alex.
Oh,
and now they talk to yeah. I constantly feel like I'm eating the same thing over and over and over again. And every time it comes to deciding what's for dinner, my mind just totally goes blank. That's why I absolutely love Home Chef. Home Chef delivers fresh ingredients and chef-design recipes conveniently to your doorstep to simplify your cooking experience. Users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. I recently had the pub-style crispy chicken with Brussels sprouts and cheddar potatoes, and it was incredible. It was so easy, the cleanup was quick, and we even had enough for leftovers the next day. Home Chef has over 30 options a week and serves a variety of dietary needs. Plus, it's economical. Home Chef customers save an average of $86 per month on groceries. And when the meal planning ends up on the back burner, check out Home Chef's new 5-ingredient meals that simplify prep with super easy recipe steps using just 5 fresh, pre-portioned ingredients. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering our listeners 50% off and free shipping for your first box, plus free dessert for life. Go to homechef.com/sitwithus. That's homechef.com/sitwithus for 50% off your first box and free dessert for life. homechef.com/sitwithus. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I think it's really important to take care of your mental health. We don't do it enough, and especially with everything going on in the world right now, it's great to have someone to talk to and work out some of your problems with. Mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It impacts families, workplaces, and entire communities. This Mental Health Awareness Month, let's encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and break the stigma. The world is better when people are healthy and happy. Here at You Can Sit With Us, we love therapy. It's great to have someone to bounce ideas off of, to have just a really unbiased conversation and get some really helpful feedback. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is fully online, too, making it affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. We're all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/sitwithus to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sitwithus.
Yeah.
So basically, people will go all around the Jeopardy board trying to find it because it's usually in the first round in the $600 or $800 category. So it's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or 1,000. 10. That'd be great. So it typically will show up in one of those spots. So they jump. There's only 1 in the first round, 2 in the second. So once it's found, stop jumping.
Right.
Stop jumping.
Right.
These people were jumping all around, clearly didn't understand some of the categories that they were jumping into. And I was like, why would you not go for the easiest ones first?
Yeah.
Because if you kill all the top row of 200, that's the same amount as it's better than getting 1,000 question wrong because you're going to be minus 1,000.
That's true.
So why not go for the guarantee?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unless they're trying to throw their opponent off.
That's also part of the strategy is not keeping anyone in the same category for a long time because then you kind of know, like some of the categories, there's only a handful of answers.
Right.
There's a game we play at the end. We try and just guess what the Jeopardy answer is for the final Jeopardy just based on the clue alone. And honestly, sometimes we're right. Because they're not asking.
1 out of 70 times, you are correct.
They're not asking like genius level questions usually. It's usually something that you maybe learned in high school.
Yeah.
But I think the strategy that's being used by the current Jeopardy contestants, appalling.
You need to revisit.
Amy, Ken, Watson, the computer would all be disappointed.
Whoa.
And I think they need to step up and step in.
It sounds like maybe you should be on Jeopardy, Becky.
They haven't asked me.
I feel like you gotta apply.
And I want the invitation. I want the invitation. I want a personal invite.
I think that would actually be good for them to have you endorse.
Right?
Your 500,000 followers.
Did they see what I did for Southwest?
Exactly.
I could make Jeopardy cool again. I would be part of the.
Is Jeopardy on TikTok?
Sometimes, yeah. They'll do if someone answers something funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like one time someone said meese for moose and Ken went, no. Sometimes he answers funny things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my rosebud and thorn.
I can't tell which was which of all of them. I'm not going to lie. They all felt thorny to me.
My brain hurts. I told you it was all thorns. So I guess my bud would be like, I'm looking forward to Jeopardy contestants taking things seriously, leaning in.
Whoa.
Hey,
You think they're squandering their opportunity?
Truly. Truly squandering.
Yeah.
That was my soapbox moment. I'm going to step off and let you step up.
Wow. I feel like
Do you
you're
have
more
anything?
like stumbling off. Sounds more like it.
Truly.
Wow. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you so much for asking, Rebecca. Thank you so much. Mine are all positive, not gonna lie.
Honestly, I love that for you.
My Bud and Rose are one and the same. I'm doing a trip to Italy. If you haven't heard.
That's right. It's coming up.
If you haven't heard, I'm going for almost a month. Very excited.
That's going to be really fun.
Been planning it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So the bud has been budding all year. Getting ready.
You've been ready.
Doing
Are your
all the
parents
planning.
excited?
Yeah, so I'm doing the first part with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second part with my family. So my parents and my sister are coming out.
So fun.
We're doing like most of the south of Italy. So we're doing Sicily, Calabria, and Puglia. So southern vibes. Southern vibes. It's going to be great.
What's the south of Italy like?
It's like, the whole thing's the boot, you know?
The bottom of the boot. The heel?
The bottom of the boot.
Are you going to be in the heel?
Yeah, the heel is Puglia.
Puglia.
Mm-hmm. That's the heel, and that's like where Bari is. A lot of people hear Bari, Lecce. Actually, a lot of super like famous celebrity people have homes in Lecce. Like a lot of Hollywood people. It's
in
crazy.
the milk. Isn't that Lecce?
In the milk.
In the milk. They live in the milk. Is that not what it is?
That's Spanish. And it's also spelled differently. This is Lecce.
Oh,
Lecce.
see, if I had seen it spelled, I would know that it's not the milk. I definitely
What is milk in
know.
Italian? You know this. Think of Starbucks drinks.
Grande. Frap. Frap?
You can do it.
We're almost there. It's easier. It's easier than Frappuccino.
Oh, no, I know it is. You're right. Olé. It's Olé?
That's French. You're so close.
It's not L-A-I-T?
That's the French way of saying it. But in Starbucks, you don't say Olé.
I don't order milk.
It's
Cafe day. Right?
No.
Is it not Cafe de Leche? Is it not Leche?
Leche's Spanish.
See?
In Starbucks, what do you ask for if you just want an espresso with milk?
No, nothing. I wouldn't ask for milk.
But what's that called?
Oh, an espresso with milk? Americano? Well,
No.
there's water. Americano plus?
No, it's a latte. You guys talking to two bricks?
Rainie, we're done. We're done. We're
That's
so
like, I
done.
feel like that's the most common
A
drink.
latte.
A latte.
Latte means milk.
Latte is milk.
So if you were like, I'm going to have cereal, can you pass me my latte to pour my oat latte?
Yeah, you just say latte. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it means.
How do you say-
if you go and ask for, if you go to a coffee place and ask for a latte, they're going to give you a glass of milk.
So what do you ask for like when you're in
Cafe latte.
a cafe latte?
Mm-hmm.
Cafe latte.
Yeah, the more you know.
That's crazy.
So it's not leche.
Crazy. It's not leche.
Latte. But I am going to leche.
Como se dice? How do you say
Come
in
se
Italian?
dice.
It's the same?
Close.
Okay, so you're laughing at me
Come se dice.
for latte, and it's como se dice
Dice.
versus como se dice.
Uh-huh. Well, leche latte, they're pretty close.
They're like cousins.
I mean, it's true. They came from the same, Indo-European language family.
Matt, we all came from the same God, okay?
I mean, we're both kin anyway,
Everybody's a little bit related.
Period. Let's keep that in mind.
At the end
we're
of the
more
day,
alike than you think, okay? We're all connected.
remember, we're all related.
Yes.
That's crazy.
But I'm very excited to go on vacation. So it's going to be great.
It's going to be fun.
A journey.
It'll be fun for your sister to be a childless woman.
Yes. Yeah. This is her first big trip away from the kids. So she'll be able to relax. Enjoy
I bet
herself
she's going to miss
bit.
them too.
I mean, for sure. Don't they always?
Don't they always?
Aren't you missing Henry right now?
Always, honestly. Whenever I do something fun, I'm like, I wish Henry were here. Or that he could like do it. Because there are some fun things. I'm like, okay, well, then he can't ride this roller coaster with me. He'd be like, no.
That would be funny to see.
No, he wouldn't even get near
Even a mini one, just a mini one.
A little tiny coaster.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we put him in a laundry basket and push him around.
Same.
Or he sits on my lap and I wiggle my legs.
Yes.
Tell him he's on his coaster. What else are you going to do in Italy?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to hike Mount Etna, the volcano. You can go up and see it. It's still an active volcano, so you can go up and see it.
Man,
didn't
you watch that documentary? I thought we
I
all watched
a lot of
documentary.
documentaries, so I don't know which one you're referring to.
We should not be fucking with active volcanoes.
I mean, they're supposed to be safe, they say,
They said it was safe.
The volcano people.
The volcanologists?
Yeah, if that's their name.
I feel like it is volcanologist, right?
Sure.
A vulcanator?
From the planet of Vulcan.
They say live long and prosper.
Yes. No, because they have different hikes and they change which way you go based on like how the volcano's going, because the lava flows and stuff can disrupt certain paths and all that. So
you're going to go near lava.
Yeah. I'm going to go see it. It's just what everyone does, doing that. And then
anyone who's
and then going to, because Sicily especially has a lot, since it's an island like in the middle of the Mediterranean, a lot of different countries over the years have tried to conquer it, right? So there's a lot of different cultures and stuff that have existed there. So lots of different ruins of things. So there's like Greek ruins we're going to one day, and then like beautiful like Roman villas and stuff that are still standing and have all like the mosaics and stuff in them, like preserved. So lots of fun UNESCO site stuff,
Everybody knows UNESCO.
It's a fun UNESCO. Yeah, UNESCO heritage sites.
What's UNESCO?
It's a UN agency that the United Nations.
Rainie, we're so dumb.
The United Nations. You know what the United Nations is? Probably not, because we're not a part anymore.
Well, we're not a part of it anymore.
So maybe you forgot, because we're not there anymore. It's a UN agency that helps protect like important historical sites around the world.
Oh, like Pompeii.
So if you get that like domination, then I don't know if it comes with money, or then it like there's certain like laws or rules that are you can't do things in these spots, or
you can't build skyscraper.
Yeah. Else protect them. And then it also makes it a destination for people to come visit and like see and stuff like that.
That's cool. Huh.
Yes. So fun stuff. Obviously lots of eating.
Oh yeah.
Lots of wine. That fun stuff.
Lots of art.
Yeah, there's lots of museums. Lots of museum trotting,
Trotting?
Yeah. Museum trotting.
You gonna go
through
on a
all
horse?
the museums. Yeah, horses through the museum.
Okay, I'm in.
Horse boy.
We're doing a pasta making class.
Are you teaching
with my family?
Yeah.
I'm going to teach it. No, and actually we're going to because my favorite pasta shape is orecchiette, which is like the little ears. And we're going to the birthplace of orecchiette. We're going to learn how to make it from scratch.
Wait, why is that your favorite?
By hand. I think I like the texture.
It's a little gnocchi.
And it's like, it's like a little more chewy, and also they're almost like little cups that like hold the sauce and stuff in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a good balance,
That's good pasta shape.
Yeah, it's a good pasta shape. Well, once I learn, don't worry. I'll put you to work. then you'll learn how to make it too.
I just want to benefit from the learning.
You're going to, teach a woman to fish. It's you.
Teach a man to make pasta. He'll come back and teach his female friends to make more pasta.
More is more.
More is more. Are you gonna? Is it a Nona that's teaching the class?
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
Yeah. And in Bari, there's a whole street where it's like a bunch of Nonas out there just making the pasta in the street.
That's cool.
Because they make them all different sizes. They make like huge ones, little teeny tiny ones.
Oh, that's cool.
A huge organte.
Yeah.
Could you have it's almost like a bread bowl. If you had a big one,
just
you put all your sauce in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
like soup.
like soup.
Like soup.
And it's similar but different.
Same thing but different. Soup sauce.
So that's my bud and rose. You know?
That'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought
No
of a
thorns.
rose while you were talking.
Oh.
So that there's something positive in life.
I'm so inspirational.
You inspired me with your international travels. You guys see the latest Titanic news?
No.
There's more
What's
Titanic.
going on?
I thought Titanic was put to rest a long time ago.
Pretty cool
People just
stuff
can't leave
has
it
been
alone.
happening. They sent down a gajillion cameras and took a gajillion pictures, and now we have the clearest, crispest
interesting.
renderings of what the actual Titanic looks like on the floor of the ocean. And there are certain things that they've gleaned from it. They had always, one big thing about the Titanic was that the lights were always on when it was going down. That's a big thing that survivors had said. And, obviously you watch the film Titanic, you see it.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah. So the guys that were working in the scooping the coal to keep those lights, that's how the lights were kept on. So there was always theorized that they just went down with the ship. All of them just decided to stay and
yeah.
But based on these pictures, they can see the burn marks and stuff and certain things that are either look like they were burned or not. And it's showing that that is that happened. that they did fully
sacrifice themselves.
Basically, for the greater good. And then the other cool part, because I was watching this gal talk about it, was that they've always talked about how, the Titanic was unsinkable because it could basically flood 4 compartments, maximum 4, and the ship would still stay afloat and still be able to go, But because of the way that the iceberg hit, it flooded 6 compartments. And that's basically what took it down. And this girl was saying they could see on the picture some of the holes that the iceberg made were the size of a sheet of paper. And that's what took it down. Not even that big. It gave me goosebumps. Isn't that crazy?
That's sad.
I know. But they have to you have to do a lot of research on the Titanic now because obviously it's on the bottom of the ocean and it's going to get eaten by all the bacteria and the rust. And
isn't it also more, maybe rust. It's more preserved because it's frozen, isn't it? Basically. So cold down there?
I don't know. I want to say it's actually not that deep, where it sunk. But it was really cool. So there's a lot of new information about the Titanic if anybody wants to pop in and see.
Are you going to write a book?
No, thank you.
It is crazy how people are kind of obsessed with the Titanic, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you either are or you aren't. I feel you either know way too much about the Titanic or you know nothing about the Titanic.
Yeah.
That is really interesting, though.
Isn't it
That's
cool?
crazy. I'm also kind of okay, so they're burning, and they were burning the light so people could see better when they were leaving the ship, or why did they need to?
I don't know, maybe so that the other ships could see them.
That's
because it was really dark.
Yeah, and
and just certain mechanisms of the ship. I don't know how ships work.
Yeah.
But there was another thing about the not flue, but the top of where the steam comes out. They could see that it was open, which means as the ship cracked in 2, steam was still coming out of the chimneys.
Yeah.
Not chimneys. What are they called, Matt?
Yeah, it's called a chimney.
A chimney.
Yeah, why not?
The chimney on the ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the best pictures we've had.
I'm definitely looking into this.
Yeah, they're cool. The pictures are cool.
So are we going to be able to do a walkthrough tour of the Titanic?
I mean, I think they've already done pretty good renderings. I mean, they know what it looked like before it left.
No, we want to see now, walk through now,
Oh, see what it looks like. Yeah, I don't know. They said they could see some personal belongings that were still...
The rose.
The
diamond
necklace,
in the sea.
The diamond in the sea. It's still there. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
It's crazy.
The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
We just
the
need
Titanic,
more
the better.
cameras. That's what I've learned. More cameras, more pictures.
Cameras are everywhere.
Cameras are everywhere. That's for sure.
I mean, Titanic changed lives for a lot of people.
That is
Definitely
true.
changed people's lives.
Definitely. Every fourth grader.
Yes.
1 in 4 fourth graders changed their world.
Yeah,
Yes.
in Denver, actually, we have Molly. I mean, one last thing on the Titanic. We have the Molly Brown house because she was one of the survivors. And so it was like
unsinkable Molly Brown.
everybody. Yes. Unsinkable Molly Brown. So every fourth grader went. And it was awesome.
Oh,
And it was
And
a
it was
fun
awesome.
field trip.
cool. That's cool. Shout out
Whoa.
to Titanic education. But yeah,
Wow.
Matt, as Rainie said, the Titanic changed life for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You had a life change. A canon event, people might say.
Yeah. Where are the cannons?
Where the can boom boom. Boom boom. It's what was that? The Hunger Games fanfic that we read about the boom of the humping games,
Oh
the
my
boom
God,
of the
yes.
cannons.
Yes. Yes.
What's your big life event that like had you gone down one path, your life would be like totally different now?
Oh, mine has to be when I moved to LA. For sure. Because before I moved to LA, I was living in DC and I was an East Coast boy. So I grew up in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Went to school in upstate New York. Then I worked in DC, went to school in DC, worked in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden I just showed up in LA.
You were like,
Bada bing, bada
I
boom.
can't deal with the cold one more day.
No, it was, I mean, internally, that's how I felt. Frozen out by no, actually, I loved living in DC for like a year. And then the second year, I was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Why?
DC, especially at the time, just felt like so small.
Mm.
And you like kind of knew everybody, you know, and like government work and nonprofit work and stuff is a very small world
Yeah.
actually in DC. So after that, I got kind of bored of it and I was like leaving every weekend on trips to go places
Oh.
because I didn't want to be in DC.
Well, how'd you decide on LA as a non-Hollywood chaser?
I just always wanted to be an actor. No, I'm just kidding.
This
Never
is what
wanted
we
to be an
find
actor.
out.
Never wanted to be an actor. Never wanted to be an actor. No, because coming from upstate New York, everyone moves to New York City. Like everyone moves to New York City.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I felt like it was an obvious next choice was like a big city.
Yeah.
So either New York or LA. Like I didn't want to live like in Dallas or like Denver or like, you know,
Whoa, what's
Chicago?
wrong with Denver?
Yeah,
I like didn't want to go. I didn't want to
Everybody loves
be. I
Denver.
didn't want to be those
Denver.
People are
places.
flocking to Denver right now.
I didn't want to be any of those places. You know,
Only
too cold.
New York or LA.
Denver, too cold. I'm from Syracuse, too cold. You know, Chicago, too cold.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
We're gonna go Miami.
Maybe.
Could be
Be a
fun.
Florida person.
Be a Florida person. I feel like you'd be working for the wrong kind of government if you continued that work.
So in my mind, I was like, okay, either LA or New York. And like everyone I knew moves to New York. So I was like, I'm gonna move to LA.
You're contrarian.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But did you
I don't
know
wanna be like
anyone?
everyone else.
You just did it?
Well, I had another friend, my friend Jesse, was moving to LA at the same time. So it was like easy
Uh-huh.
to have like a built-in roommate
Oh, yeah.
from the get-go.
That's
Like
nice.
move here and we already have a roommate, find a place.
And honestly, you bringing up Jessie now reminds me that I did tell her I would get back to her about a play date and never responded. So
I mean, she has two
I
kids.
need to text her.
She has 2 kids
after
now,
this,
too.
'cause That's so
Yeah.
rude.
Wow, Rebecca.
My
Wow.
bad. My bad.
Wow.
You just like,
You need more play dates.
I went, and I was like, oh no.
Especially
I never
because you don't have
texted her
plumbing
back.
now. So Jesse has
I
plumbing.
got to play somewhere else so I can pee.
Jesse's got plumbing. Don't worry.
She's got plumbing for sure. So did she already live here when you were moving out, or did you make the plan together and you were like, let's find a place?
No, she hadn't moved here yet. So it was like a plan. Yeah. But I was ready to move because I was working for the United Nations Foundation in DC
Mhm.
and my whole department got cut. So like everyone lost their job, basically. So my like lease was up for the house I was living in. I like they call them like a group house, which makes it sound weird, but
Oh, okay, man.
Whoa.
it was like
kind of
it was
fun.
like
Kind of
you know, it's
fun.
like a 4-bedroom house. So then you have like 4 roommates, like 3 roommates, you know?
Like dorm vibes.
Yeah, basically. And then my lease was up for that. And then like my gym membership, like everything was up. You know what I mean? Like everything was up. Because you know how you like your gym membership like renews every
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
It was up. So I
He's
could
like,
get out
my
of
lease
it.
was up. I couldn't go to the gym anymore.
Everything was up. And I was like, okay, I could either try to find another job in DC, but then I'm stuck in DC. And then I would probably still be in DC.
Yeah.
you know, or I could leave now with no job, no anything. So that's what I did.
Was that scary when you got on the plane? You were like, I have no job. I'm living on positive vibes and savings.
Yeah, basically.
Fumes.
Well, I did get 3 months severance pay.
Oh, that's good.
that's
So
nice.
that's actually
That's
what saved me
Mm-hmm.
to move out here. Because then I had like some cash
Yeah.
to do like a deposit for an apartment and like
Yeah.
all that fun stuff and find like a temporary job.
What was your first temp job when you came out here?
I'd signed up at a temp agency
Oh.
who they like staff. It was mostly like financial services companies. So it was with Oak Tree Capital, which is basically like a big investment firm.
Oh, okay.
And it was helping, it was kind of like copy editing and then also like printing all of their marketing materials they did for like big meetings.
You were a printer?
Printing by
Yeah.
hand.
Doot,
Doing
doot,
by hand.
doot.
No, because it was like, you know, you have to like compile everything.
Oh,
you know,
I
because
see.
it's like you're doing like presentations and like, or like conferences or stuff. You have to like put all the packets
You made
and stuff
binders
together
and
and like
stuff.
bind everything.
Okay.
Do all the copy editing, make sure read everything, make sure it looks correct, all that type of stuff. Yeah. So
And
it was
then how-
really riveting stuff.
Sounds very exciting.
Really
How
riveting
soon
stuff.
after your glorified printing job did you decide to get your MBA and go back to school as a lifelong learner?
As a lifelong learner, I knew right away. No. Because then I got a job after my printing job.
Mhm.
Then I got a job at the United Nations Foundation
Okay.
as not the United Nations Foundation, at the Annenberg Foundation.
Oh, I was like,
okay.
wait, it was a.
They rehired you.
They
rehired
rehired me. No, at the Annenberg Foundation doing grant writing work.
Okay.
And then I just knew that wasn't going to be a good long-term fit
hmm
for me. It was kind of boring and it didn't pay very much money,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Do you have any advice for asking for a raise?
Asking
Did you
for a
ever do
raise, not there. Because I wasn't there for long enough, you know? And it was like...
So I guess that's tip number one.
You gotta be there. You gotta
I'll
be
wait
there.
enough time.
Yeah. But then, I mean, we can go back to that later.
Okay.
Because I didn't ask for a raise then. But then, so then I got a job at USC doing, they called it an awards coordinator position, but basically it was you helped write all of the applications for professors to apply for awards and some grants. So think of like,
Okay.
like a Nobel Prize, right? Like that's what like everyone would want.
Yeah.
So it's like awards that are high prestige
Mhm.
that would help boost, honestly, like the rankings of the school up.
And the professors didn't even write them themselves.
I mean, they do, but you kind of help do everything.
Yeah.
You know, like you coordinate everything, you help get all the letters, you help
hmm
put everything the right way, you edit down all their applications, stuff like that. Yeah. So then when I was at USC, I was like, this is the perfect time to go back to school because they give you a break on tuition. You don't get free tuition, but you get like a break on it.
Oh, if you work there.
If you work there, yeah. So then I applied. I only applied to USC. I didn't apply anywhere else.
Mhm.
And then I got in. And then I went back to school. And it's really sucked. I had to work all day and then I had to stay there all night for school for like 3 years.
That's a long day.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 years is a long time too.
Yeah. It was a longer program.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it part-time.
As an East Coast boy going West Coast, what were the big like culture shocks?
Having to drive everywhere was a big one.
Mhm.
Because in DC, I literally would walk to work every day.
Oh,
Like a 15-minute
That's
walk.
nice.
so
You know?
nice.
So that one sucked. But then also, it like never rains here. Like I remember in DC, I would be caught in the rain, like flash thunderstorms. Like you would be soaked from head to toe multiple times a year.
Yeah.
Never happens in LA.
I know.
Never.
I do kind of
Never
love
happens.
that. I remember walking to work
It's
once
great.
in Chicago and it was like, I don't know, like a 30-minute walk. And I was like, it'll be fine. I'll do a 30-minute walk when I get off at 2. I'll just take a cab home. No, it downpoured about 10 minutes into the walk.
Yeah.
And
You're
I'd
stuck.
already missed the bus.
Oh.
And so I just finished the walk.
Oh.
And I walked
Soaking
in
wet.
and like my hair was curly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly.
I was fully
I hated
drenched
that.
like a little rat.
hated it.
You're right. That's a
I
good
hated
one.
that.
Do you have any regrets about moving to LA? Or maybe I guess early regrets
No.
because your life is perfect now being my friend.
My life's mission was actually just to meet Becky.
Yeah, it was kismet. It was like a magnet.
Yeah.
What's that cult? Twin flames.
Twin flames fighting.
Yeah. But like when you first moved, was there ever a time where you were like, fuck,
Yeah,
I
because
should have just stayed?
I always had to have like 2 jobs. Like it sucked. Like I felt like I was always working.
Did you miss your family? Like all your whole community in the East Coast?
Well, I felt like a lot. DC is also a very like transient place. Like most people aren't lifelong inhabitants of DC. You know, they all kind of move around. So by the end of being there for 2 years, it was like half your social life is like goodbye parties. Like, blah, blah, leaving. Let's go to their goodbye party and stuff.
Oh, that's really sad.
So it doesn't really feel like you have a very like set community there anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting.
But you're good at keeping in touch with people because you still have friends from DC that you go on trips with and make time for.
I feel like if you're going to be friends with someone, you'll stay friends with them if you leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's not like a friend of convenience.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, just because they're there.
Yeah.
So then you go out with them every weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
You're actually friends. You'll stay friends.
When did you start feeling like you were making friends in LA? Or like when was it? A cozy home. Was it when you met Eugenie Weenie?
Probably like a little before I met Eugene, I started to feel like I had friends.
Yeah, like a set.
It took a little while. Yeah.
Base. That's good.
I know. It takes because even then, I mean, it's hard to make friends as you're old.
100%.
You know? It's hard to make friends with your old, but even then I was working so much too. So then it was also hard to, how do you meet friends when you're working all the time?
Right.
Yeah, and I do feel like the LA culture too is flakier than what I grew up with in the Midwest.
Yeah, definitely.
And like one of my best friends out here, we always joke that we became friends because we were the only 2 people from our job that followed through on a plan.
Yeah.
Like we'd be like, we're going to go get drinks after work today. And we'd be the only 2 people.
The last 2 left standing.
That even went.
Yeah.
That he didn't like poop out. And I feel like that happens a lot in LA.
Yeah, everyone's like, let's hang out. And then
you never hear it.
Days before, they cancel.
Yeah. Starting your own business can be super intimidating and lonely. I have a ton of friends that own small businesses. I have a few podcaster friends. And when they tell me about how difficult it is to get started, the scripts, the setup, the filming schedule, logos, everything, it could be super overwhelming. Every day seemed to introduce a new decision that needed an answer. And that's why they've recommended Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses all around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. I know when I've gone into some small businesses around my neighborhood, I've seen Shopify on their tablets. Get started with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. You can get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/sitwithus. Go to shopify.com/sitwithus. Shopify.com/sitwithus.
You know, hours before cancel.
I love David Dang. Mommy, we need to hang out soon. He's in Japan. I'm like, David, I told him.
He catches up on his text on the plane.
He does. And I'm always like, David, when you're back in the state, baby boo, I will come see you.
Well, he's going to be in Italy with me, so you're going to have to wait longer.
That's rude. Well, you know what? I've actually decided because I don't have plumbing, I'm not going to go to Chicago. I'm going to go to Italy.
Yeah.
So
just come along.
I'll see you there. It'll be super fun.
Yeah. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Okay.
Jesus.
I never heard that.
Man, my God. My God.
Now it's a race.
The race to Italy.
It's a race to Italy. You could start vlogging, and that would be your vlog. The race to Italy.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, Matt's vlogging era. Let's get it started.
Is vlogging still like thriving?
Yes.
Is it?
Italy. I think so. I don't know. I feel like
it's over.
Well, you were never really like in, you know what I mean? You weren't really in the culture.
No, it's never interested me.
Vlogging has never interested you? What about blogging?
Like every day blogging, writing. There's other things to do. Don't you think?
I don't know. You didn't ever like, I remember when I moved to LA, I watched a lot of like beauty influencers and I would slowly like get in on their YouTubes. And then it would be like a day in the life kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't have anything else to do. And I was working at Sprinkles with 18-year-olds, so I couldn't really make friends. So I was like, oh, okay, I get the parasocial aspects of it all, but I do think there's something nice about having like a comfort creator.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't feel like I need to do anything big or crazy here. I just want
I'm
to
just hanging out.
hang out.
Yeah. I can't believe I just found out that Emma Chamberlain released this thing that was like, yeah, people think I just sort of like shot up, but I was releasing a video every day.
Yeah.
For like years, which is so
exhausting.
much.
So much content.
Yeah.
You know what I've really gotten into is role model.
Love role model.
I figured you would, Rainie.
I don't know what that is.
Rainie, I figured you would.
I don't know what
Role
that
model
is.
is this.
He's a person.
He's a person.
He used to date Emma Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's an artist and he's just like dripping with charm.
Yeah.
Like,
he's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
Dripping.
Dripping.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. He kind of looks like the Dare, but no sunglasses. Matt doesn't know who the Dare is. It's kid stuff. It's fun.
Wow, you're so young.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I'm just hip and young. I know what the
You're
kids
just
are
so
into.
young.
Are you listening to him or are you like just, he's on your TikTok. He's at the mall.
He was on
He's
my
at
TikTok.
the mall. You saw him at the
Yeah, I saw
mall.
him at the mall. No, he's on my TikTok, but then I did go to his playlist and I realized I really am. His songs aren't as like hypey as I thought they were.
Oh, no,
They're more
yeah.
like sad boy songs.
Yeah. I like three of them, two of them.
Yeah.
And I do listen to two, but they're the most popular ones.
Yes, I was about to say I like the Sally one.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only one I know.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Yeah. I like watching like the people come up on stage. Like Renee Rapp just went up.
So fun.
So fun.
So fun. Such a vibe.
Yeah, he's really cool. Matt, you'd love him.
You'd love him.
Cool. Send him my way. So Becky,
Yes, Matthew.
what was your largest Canon event in your life so far? I mean, maybe there'll be more.
Maybe
You
there'll
never
be
know.
more. There could be.
Yeah.
But I think my biggest Canon event, we've kind of talked about it before when we've had our mommy podcast, is deciding to just have one kid.
Instead of
like-
7.
Instead of 7. Instead of becoming the next Octomom. Yeah, just having one.
Wow.
And being set and at peace in that decision.
Wow. What brought you to that decision, Rebecca?
I think it was multiple things, but I would mostly say the medical aspects of it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes, like even when we were in the NICU, some of the nurses were like, don't worry, the next one will be easier. And like there were moms, and this isn't a commentary on those moms in the NICU. I think they're very, they have a stronger will than I have, who were on their 3rd or 4th kid in the NICU with
That's
like
scary.
tiny, like 29 weekers. And like,
That's really tiny.
I can't do that again. I feel like that would be too,
That's so tiny.
especially with having Henny at home. I wouldn't know how to do both.
Yeah.
For me personally, again, not a commentary on anyone else that chooses to do it. But I think, since the pregnancy was high risk, it was so stressful.
Yeah.
And then there's always that stress of like, okay, well, I think in other certain circumstances, you have no idea why you have a preemie. Mine was like a pretty obvious reason. Like
yeah, that's true, I guess.
it was like, well, you just don't have enough room. So it's like the odds of having another preemie are like not if or not when, but if. Like it, or not if, but when. You will for sure have another preemie. So I just don't think I could do that again. I think when we had to go to the hospital for Henny's hernia surgery, like 4 months after he was born, I was like having a full-blown panic attack when he came back because they only let one of us go in with him. So Keith went in as the sort of drop off, and then I was there for the pickup when he woke up from anesthesia, and I was like the beeping, like I couldn't do it. Like I was fully like had tears in my eyes, and I was just like I don't think I'd be able to do it again, even if it was in a better.
Like in LA.
LA, even if it was in a better situation, you know what I mean? And because now even now on TV, when I see someone's like water break or on TikTok, someone's like my water break, it's like that's not a positive memory for me. Or like, this is when I went to the hospital, XYZ.
Stress.
Like I'm,
There's like instant stress.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm happy that other people had that experience, but it will never be a happy memory of when that happened.
How many kids did you want to have before?
2.
2?
Yeah. We always said
You
2,
grew up with
depending
2.
how much the first one hurt. like I have a brother. Keith has 2 brothers.
Yeah.
Like we grew up with siblings. So
Mm-hmm.
it was something, not that my brother and I are like maybe if we were like the closest siblings in the world,
Mm-hmm.
like I think of like Zach and his sister are very close.
Yeah.
And you know, they live close now too.
Yeah, yeah.
My brother and I just weren't that close in life. And I left pretty early. Like I immediately went to college when he went to community college. So he was still at home. And then I left right after college to go into the city while he was still in the suburbs.
Yeah.
So I feel like we didn't ever have that like super duper closeness. But I think if I was super close with a sibling, maybe that would change my opinion of being like, no, I have to give my kid a sibling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you sort of like, when did you start thinking like, okay, maybe 1 kid instead of 2? Was it like when in the NICU
It was like 3 days after birth?
Okay. Yeah. You're like, well,
I think we were like, I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's one of those things where I'm like, well, I guess we'll never have to like be super stressed about like how we're going to pay for 2 kids' college.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, I feel like when people, especially like strangers who are like, don't you want to give him a sibling?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, do you know the cost of childcare right now? On average, is $2,000 per kid per month.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a mortgage payment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on average too.
And that's on average. Yeah. Like whatever expense 1 kid is, double it.
Mm-hmm.
Then 3 kids, double it. Sometimes you get a discount for sending multiples in, but then you have to be within a certain time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the expectation is to have a 2 to 3 year age gap between your kids. Right. And we're coming up on 2 years with Henny. And I'm just like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I do get sad thinking about like one day Keith and I will die and he's going to have to deal with that by himself. But hopefully at that point, he'll have his own family and his own friend support system. To be with. Mm-hmm. But you do wish that your kid had, you know, someone else that was there.
Yeah, yeah.
That wasn't going to die as early as you do, you know. It's fucking dark.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that of like, that's in like 50 years, hopefully.
Just put you in a home.
Put me in a home. I do want to go to a home, honestly. Keith and I were talking about the other day. I was like, I get why people stay in their houses. My grandma's like, I'm staying in my house. I'm like, I love that for you, Grandma. I'm like, I want to go back to college. I want to live in a dorm. Mm-hmm. I want to have built-in social activities. Because given the option, I would just sleep. I would just like keep sleeping all day.
TV.
Oh, yeah.
Be in front of the TV.
Structure.
Unless there's a structure to my day, I would be like, well, sleeping sounds fun.
Yes.
So I feel like being in a home would be like cool for me. I would like it.
Especially if it's like, oh my God, now I'm blanking on the show. What was that show that just out?
Oh, it was so cute. Yeah. The Man on the Inside.
Yes, the Man on the Inside.
That was so cute.
That really makes it look fun.
That made it look fun.
I would live there.
Yeah. But I would want Henny to be near us. Like I would still want to stay somewhere near.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have any like, so you mentioned people being like, don't you want to give him a sibling? Is that the common rhetoric? Like what are those conversations usually like? That's kind of a weird thing to say.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even when I do mention like, because I think it is one thing if you can medically not have any more kids. Medically, it would be complicated for me to have another kid, but it is not impossible for me to have another kid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it's so heavy. Like I feel like I also like have anxiety and everything with my body. I'm like, I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
You know? And so I feel like it's like, I don't know, but that's the weird thing about motherhood and like women. It's just sort of like, well, you could risk it. Yeah. And it's like, I don't really want to do that. I don't know. Yeah. It's just sort of like, I don't know, medically hard and medically impossible. It's like a blurred line for me.
Yeah. It's definitely like a weird place to be. I do think people need to stop asking.
When are you having your second one?
Yeah. But I feel like it's the same thing when you get engaged. It's like, well, when are you getting married? Then you get married. When are you going to have kids? Mm-hmm. Then you have one kid. When are you going to have another kid? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It took us a year to get pregnant in the first place.
Yeah.
Truth. It takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It takes a while.
Yeah.
But
what do you usually say if they're like, are you giving him a sibling? Or are you just like, no?
Yeah. Usually I say no. I just say that's like not in the cards for us.
That's a good way of,
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer and be like, no, I have this bicornuate uterus and like only 3% of people have it. And I'm choosing not to get, there is a surgery that you can do to like, depending on how deep it is, to open it up more. But like that, I don't want to fuck with my uterus anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Because you fuck with your uterus and something goes wrong. Like that's a hysterectomy.
Right.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
I don't want to take that risk.
Ugh,
Yeah.
And I'm also like, I think
it's a lot.
everybody needs to do whatever is going to make them the best parent to their kids and to be the best parent to Henny.
Mhm.
I think I can't go through that again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Especially, with the anxiety and like this PTSD almost. Because I know exactly what you're talking about when like you see a TikTok and you're like, ooh, I'm like about to cry. Like, what's going on? Yeah.
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 And it's not out of a place of like, I mean, obviously there is a part of jealousy because I'm like, dang, I want that. I wish I had that. But the other part is just, your body pops into it and you're just like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
no, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't watch this.
Like a physical reaction.
Scary.
Yeah. But I do think it is a very common thing for people to think about
Yeah.
of like, the 1 versus 2 versus 3 versus
Well,
5.
we're not, the U.S. is not repopulating itself at the correct rate anyway.
No. I actually saw a really good, there's a skincare girly that I love. She started the brand Do, and she's really good at breaking down like politics and how it relates to like women and like the skincare industry and things like that because she owns a business. But she was talking about her take on, it was actually really funny. I was talking to Miles and Desiree about Chapel Roan, and they were like, Miles was talking about something she said that had to do with politics. And I was like, it's so funny how different our FYPs are.
Yeah.
Because that clip had never even surfaced to me.
Oh,
The only clip that surfaced to me was her saying that all her friends who are moms are in hell. And all of the reactions, like from the people on TikTok being like so personally attacked by what she said.
Yeah.
And like in my mind, I was like, okay, well, if I was Chapel Roan's friend, I would feel bad. I would be like, dang, why'd you got to air that?
Yeah.
Talking about me. But like as a mom, I don't feel personally victimized by
Right.
what she said. She wasn't talking about me.
Yeah.
But the skincare founder was like, we are in a system of hell. Like your friend is complaining to you about, or not complaining. They're not complaining about their kid, their physical being of the kid.
Yeah.
They're complaining that there's no help for moms or parents out there, that it's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That it's, you have to make the choice between having a job and childcare. Like,
Right.
and you're expected to make that choice of being like, well, you should be raising your kid, having that thrown back on them. Also, like in certain parts of the United States, having a kid is so fucking dangerous, like giving birth. And it's like, this is hell. This is hell. But it's not because they're mad at their kids or their kids are the root of the issue. It's the systems. We don't have any systems in place to help people have kids. But we're forcing people to have kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like, it's like literally there's no help.
Yeah.
Which I do think is pretty much the whole argument of the pro-choice movement is like, we should not be forcing people to have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who like, and not supporting them in any way past giving birth. And even then you're not really even supported.
No.
Like doulas are not provided.
Yeah.
You only have doctors and nurses who, yes, have medical degrees and are very smart people. But like, as I said, I'm stupid. I didn't go to medical school. So like having a doctor talk to me about something is not something I totally understand what they're saying all the time. Whereas when I was talking, we had a doula after the fact. I think everyone should be provided a doula during birth to have another person who knows this world that is not educated by the big sort of systems in place.
Right.
Do I think they should be giving all the medical advice? No. But they should be a sounding board. There should be someone else in that room that
Well, it's also the doctor's
advocates for
job
you.
to be the doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's somebody else there to help with a lot of the emotional aspects.
Yeah, for sure. But that's basically what this founder was getting at, was like, it's crazy that we're sort of like attacking Chapel for what she said when it's like, did she say it in the nicest way? No, but also like if a man said the exact same thing, like
also kind of how a lot of people feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I liked it. I was like, go off, queen. Although if I was your friend and you went on a podcast and said that, like, I told you that my life was hell, like I'd feel a little disheartened that you shared that.
Yeah.
Especially if you were publicly Chapel's friend. Kind of like when Bo Burnham did Inside and he was like called his friends' kids like ugly. I was like, if I was Bill Burnham's friend, I'd be sad. You called my kid ugly.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oopsie.
Oops.
Oopsie.
Oops.
Are you thinking about are you raising Henry in a different way knowing he's going to be an only child? Or is it kind of the same?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I'm consciously doing anything to be like, you're not going to have siblings.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like also I have lots of friends with 2 kids. I was one of 2 kids. There's things that you learn just in life, you know, from existing as a kid. Sharing is a big one. But I'm like, a lot of my friends that have kids that are the 2 different ages, they don't, you know, at a certain point, they don't play together.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like there's anything in his 2 years of life that we're doing that I think is very different from my friends that have 2 kids.
Right. Especially because typically it's at least 2 years apart.
Yeah.
So it's like, especially right now, there's nothing.
Yeah, right now there's not anything. I guess maybe later on there might be something. But I've seen actually a lot of TikToks that I think are very positive and uplifting for people who decide just to have one kid, is like people asking, tell me the best part about being one kid. Because we do usually focus on that.
Yeah.
Like, well, you don't have a built-in friend, or you don't have whatever.
Built-in enemy sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was like, sometimes it's not a built-in
You're built-in villain.
You fight a lot.
Yeah, but some of the positive things that I've heard, and things that Kaylin has said too, because she's an only child, were like, I went on lots of vacations with my family.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, the financial burden of having a child is very big.
It's a lot easier to buy one plane ticket instead of 2.
Yes. Yeah. It's a lot easier to deal with like one kid's school schedule.
Right.
Like my brother and I were 1 year apart. So my brother was in junior high when I was in elementary school for a year. So my mom was going to 2 different schools.
Right.
Like, they were just like, I got a lot more one-on-one time with my parents. And I got a lot more one-on-one time with them as individuals. And I thought that was really nice. But I feel like there's always going to be something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always a trade-off no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
So I think right now, no, we're not raising him in any different way being an only child. But I think he will have certain advantages being an only child.
Yeah. I didn't think about the vacation. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Because, you have extra, like, you have more money. You can do, it's easier to do with just one. Like, that is exciting. And there's something so valuable about that.
Yeah.
Of traveling. And
being able to do college is a big one. If Henny decides to go to college or not, or goes to a trade school, whatever he wants to do with his life. Like, paying for one kid's college.
Yeah.
A lot easier than paying for 2 kids' colleges. Or when he has interests like music, dance, if he's in a sport, dealing with I think it all comes back to financial. Truly is. It's easier to pay for one kid than it is to pay for 2 kids.
Yeah.
So that was a positive thing that I saw, was seeing other only children, seeing that perspective. Because my grandma was an only child, and she's like, well, I was lonely because I wanted a sibling, and she was an army brat and traveled a lot. So like having a sibling would have been, a built-in buddy.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you have people like Kaylin said she loved being an only child. She's like, I did all these cool things with my parents. And, my mom said I could be spoiled, but not a spoiled brat. And I'm like, oh, I do like that,
Yeah.
So you win some, you lose some. And there's always time to change your mind.
Yeah.
You can always change your mind all the time. I think that's a lesson for everyone in the world, especially currently with the measles outbreak.
Yeah.
Not to get political here, but if you chose not to give your kid the MMR vaccine, that vaccine is still there and you can give it to them.
That's true.
You can change your mind.
It's there.
It's there.
Safe.
It's safe. It's a lot safer than getting measles. It's effective.
Man, I didn't know about the measles outbreak. You
didn't know about the measles?
Here. Like, it's just every day. It's like, okay, that's really bad.
Yeah, measles outbreak in Texas.
Not necessarily surprising because nobody got the vaccine. Or not everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not surprising, but it's sad that old diseases are coming back.
Yeah.
But again, you're not an idiot for changing your mind. If in 3 years we do decide to have another kid, I'm not going to think that I was stupid right now for saying that I didn't. I just changed my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what you can do with getting the MMR vaccine, getting whatever, going back to school like Matt did.
Yeah.
You can change your mind about whatever job you're in, about whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe your political affiliation.
Yeah.
You can change your mind.
I also think it's a great, like, I think like you can change your mind, and I think talking about it is good. Like, I think you can come, like, you know, talk about your decision now and then also talk about your decision later, you know? Like, I think we're just talking and like not having it all be like, well, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to talk about it because what if I change my mind later? Yeah. I think it's just like, you know, then it's just silencing yourself. Yeah. Which is unnecessary. Yeah. 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 It's okay to change your mind about things.
Don't limit yourself.
Yeah. Don't put yourself in a little box of saying, I am for sure only going to stick to this way, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to stick to this way.
Yeah, that's not smart.
Yeah.
You have to reevaluate.
Yeah, you got to be a little flexible, which is hilarious for me. It's like the least flexible.
You got to be more flexible. Stretch more.
You got to stretch more. Stretch more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I guess that's our little button on this. Yeah. You can change your mind. You can change your life. Right?
Exactly. Period.
Period.
I thought there was more of a song.
There is more, but I don't know if we can sing it, and I don't know if that is actually the lyrics. Past you can change your mind. We're building it this way. Well, guys, that's all the time that we have for today. These were our Canon life events. These were our harsh opinions on Jeopardy, Southwest Airlines, and Matt going on an Italian vacation.
Thank you. So excited.
So excited. Hit us with that milk in Italian one more time.
Latte.
Oh my God. So cute when you say it.
Okay, leche.
Leche. Café de leche. Until next time, make sure you're washing your hands, peeing after sex, being nice to people, being nice to yourself. And thanks for sitting with us. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.